Hello everyone and Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to another video of mine. Today's topic is quite interesting and it was requested by someone I used to work with, and I'm sure this will be helpful to many of you who are interested to move to Canada. So the process of moving to Canada can be quite tricky for some because there are a lot of steps involved, and it will be a good idea to watch this video so that you know about the details of how and what the process is all about. So in this video, I would mainly be focusing on the express entry system. If you already know about Canadian immigration, then you might be knowing that there are other ways, which is like the PNP and some other, programs are also out there, which even I'm not aware of to the details, but I know about the Canadian express entry system. So let's talk about that. I'm explaining everything in details, so it will be good if you have a paper and pencil with you to note down all the points. So let's begin. So the thing is that many people are interested in moving abroad, whether they're from the medical professional field or from the other fields. As you know, my channel is about medical professionals, but this is a very general video which will be of benefit to a wider audience. And I would also make a video specifically for physicians who want to move to Canada and the medical professionals in general, but this video is going to be focusing on everyone. Okay, before we begin, we need to know whether you're eligible for the Canadian migration or not, because this express entry system is actually a points-based system, which means there are certain factors that they take into consideration to make sure that you have enough points, and if you have enough points, then you're able to apply. So first thing I want you to know is, how do you calculate your points? There is a website which you can use from the government of Canada. If you write CRS Canada in Google, I'm sure you will find this website. So this is www.cic.gc.ca. So I don't know if this is, I think it's not clear. It's not clear on the mobile, unfortunately. Anyhow, when you visit this website, there is comprehensive ranking system, which is the CRS tool. So what points they take into consideration is your age, your marital status, your education, your qualifications, work experience, your IELTS score, which is the English test, or whether you have French test, that would be an additional bonus for you. And also they see if you have any first degree relatives living in Canada already. So all of these things give you points, and the more points you have, the better for you, because you will have higher chances of being selected to move to Canada. So let's set that aside. For example, you're having enough points in the sense that, let's say you have a bachelor's degree, you have a minimum of 1 year experience. It's better to have at least 3 years experience, because that will give you a higher chance. But if you have a master's degree combined with only 1 year experience, then your points would be equal to someone who has let's say just a bachelor's degree and 2 years plus experience. Anyhow, that will you can check out from this website about how many points you're getting, and 400 plus points is eligible. But just being eligible is not enough. You need to stand out. What it means is that usually 460 plus points are having a higher chance of being selected. Now, many of you must be interested to know, how can you increase your points? So in general, the easiest method of increasing your points is to have a better score at your IELTS test. The higher you get in your IELTS, the more chances of increasing your points, because that factor plays a very good role. And if you know French and you do the test for French, that will give you even more points. And apart from that, having more work experience is going to count, but the maximum is 3 years, because after 3 years of experience, even if you have more, you will have the same points as someone who has only 3 years of work experience. Other than that, your education, like the degree you have, if it's a bachelor's degree, it will have a set number of points, and if you have master's degree, it will be more than bachelor's degree. Or if you are working in a licensed profession, that includes someone like a doctor or lawyer and so on. So now, to give you a brief overview of the steps that I've broken down in your process of moving to Canada. So that will be written after this. Okay, so number one step in this immigration process is to get your ECA. ECA stands for Educational Credential Assessment, which is getting your degree certified by a Canadian organization. Now, in general, for all degrees, there is WES or there is another one, ICAS. But if you are in the medical field, like if you're a doctor, then you will do it through the MCC, which is the Medical Council of Canada. So you will get your ECA document, you will submit your degree and license if you have, and you will just give it online, and they will verify your degree whether it's real, and they will contact your university, do this whole checkup, and will return the results in 2 to 3 months. It takes around that much time, but because of COVID, I think it has slowed down a bit more. But in general, that is how much time it takes, and there is a fee for that, of course. It costs around 300 Canadian dollars, okay, and also they take extra charges for doorstep delivery for the hard copy of the document, but in general, they will give you a soft copy through the email or the website. So once you get your ECA document, which is actually valid for 5 years, then you can move on to the next step. The next step is to start your IELTS preparation. No, ideally you should start your IELTS preparation before the ECA even, but you should be giving your IELTS test now. The catch here is that you need to score as high as possible. It's not just about getting a minimum of 6 in each and you're good to go. No, you can do that if you have other factors are good for you, like if you have more work experience and your degree is high degree, high level qualification and so on. But everything comes down to your IELTS score, because this is a variable factor which can actually increase or decrease your points. So you should aim for CLB band 9. Now what that means is you should at least try to get a minimum of 8 in listening and minimum of 7 in reading, writing, and speaking. So 8, 7, 7, 7. This is the ideal score to get good points. Okay, many people try to repeat their IELTS test as many times as possible to get this ideal score. And IELTS over here in United Arab Emirates in UAE, it costs 1,050 dirhams for the paper-based test and 1,075 for the computer-based test. And other than that, important point that I forgot is you must already be knowing that it's valid for 2 years, so you need to plan accordingly. And IELTS should be general, not academic. If you have academic already, it will not be included. You have to do IELTS general. So now we can come to the step 3. You have the ECA with you and you have your IELTS test certificate with you. Now you can finally make your express entry profile. Now some people will think they can make the express entry profile beforehand, but no, it's not possible. They will not accept it until you have these 2 documents present with you. And of course, you need to have the minimum 1 year of work experience to be able to make your express entry profile. This is free of charge, and you can go to the CIC website that I told you about earlier, and you can make your profile through that. Once you make your profile, you will be entered into the express entry pool. When you're in this express entry pool, there will be draws that will happen every 2 weeks, and next step is to wait patiently for the draws to happen, so that if you are having enough points above the cutoff CRS score, then you will be chosen. And in general, nowadays the trend is that people having scores of 470 and above are getting chosen, but sometimes it drops to below 470 as well. So in this thing, it's about luck as well as your points. Both counts, because sometimes the score will drop, sometimes the scores will increase. That all depends on what kind of people are entering into the express entry pool system. For example, if they are highly qualified, many number of them are there in that turn, then you will be left behind. Anyhow, once you enter the express entry pool system, you have to wait for your ITA, which is the invitation to apply. Now let's say you've gotten that. In your draw, the name has come and you got the ITA. Now, step 5 will be to gather and submit the documents. This means that you are in this point where you have to prove whatever you've said in your express entry profile, like your experience, there are other documents as well. Let me explain to you what all documents will be required in this. You will have 90 days to gather and submit all your documents, and with this you will have an immigration fees, which is 1,050 Canadian dollars. It's quite expensive. So the documents you would need to submit, I have the list here with me. First thing is you need to give your passport or travel document, same thing. In that you should have travel history of last 10 years. Travel history means the stamps of which countries you've entered and exit. Those pages will be needed in the last 10 years. The second thing is you will need your digital photograph. You will need your proof of employment or the experience letter, and that one has a specific format which you should look out for. Then you will need the proof of funds. You need at least 300 to 350 Canadian dollars per applicant, and with that you have the bank statement that you have to give to show the proof of funds. Then you have to give proof of medical. You need to do your test. Proof of education, which is the ECA. Then you have to give your IELTS certificate, and then there is the PCC, which stands for Police Clearance Certificate. Now, here's the tricky part. People will think that they will need to give the police clearance certificate only of the country they're currently living in, but no. If you've lived in a country for more than 6 months in any country, then you need to get the police clearance certificate from that country also. And that is why there can be delays sometimes for people who've lived in more than one country. So you need to get those, and that's it. Now, along with the immigration fees, you will submit this whole thing in a digital form, which means you will give scanned copies through the website, and it takes around 2 to 4 months in ideal conditions for them to do the checkups, background checkups, verifications, whatever, and they will get back to you after that. Once this is cleared, then you can take a sigh of relief. Because now only thing is needed is they will ask you to submit your passport for the stamping of the visa for Canada, like first time entry visa, and you will get your COPR, which means confirmation of the permanent residence. After that, once you get your passport, now the only thing you have to do is book your tickets, ready for the first landing in Canada. So this is the gist of the whole thing. I don't know if there is anything I missed. I might have, because I wanted to not make this video too long, but this is the summary of everything, and I hope that you found it useful. If you are interested to know more about this process, or if there is something which is not so clear, do let me know in the comments, and I will try to either reply or make another small video answering your questions. So thank you for watching. Take care. Allah Hafiz.